Squad Online. Chad Range alongside Jesse Finney. Good to have you, Jess.
Well, I appreciate it. You know, we're looking forward to another good episode here, and this is one I'm excited about because it's always we're going to preview the free on Fox. And this is how we get new fans, is because it's free. It's free next Saturday night. Not this Saturday, next Saturday night. It's free on Fox. And if you remember the Gilbert Melendez and Benson Henderson fight from, I guess it was probably two months ago, 3 months ago?
Like, yeah,
that was the last free on Fox that we had, and it was great for TV. It also makes ratings for everybody from the gym business to the promotion business to just, you know, your wife just to happen to watch, hey, I saw some MMA fights. This is how they get new mixed martial arts fans.
It's happening in Seattle, Washington on Saturday, July 27th. Of course, we want to know where you're watching the fights. I'm sure the Lumiere Casino will probably have them on that night.
Anybody that's out there right now, if you're looking to focus on the fights and say you want us to come down, you want us to come to your place, watch the fights, hit us up on Twitter, hit us up on Facebook, and we will come down, we'll check out the fights with you, and then we can also see if we can be part about you being a sponsor with us.
Hit Squad at 101sports.com, Twitter handle at Hit Squad 101 ESPN. And we're going to start off, Demetrius Johnson, John Moraga. I mean, that's a good fight. 17-2 taking on 13-1. Someone's going to get another loss.
Someone's going to get another loss. I'm a huge fan of the 125s. I'm a huge fan of just the little guys in general. I like the little guys, man. They're going to go nonstop, all at you, in your face at all times. The big knock on these guys is they don't have the one-punch power. Now, at the same time, you're going to get a lot of heavyweights with the one-punch power, but at the same time, they're also going to be very slow and wear out. And at the end of 5 rounds, unless you're Cain Velasquez, you're really actually like not as active as the 125s. I love these guys.
Yeah, it's fun.
DJ's one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world, Demetrius Johnson. One of the best in the world. And I tell you what, you'll never ever see DJ. And I'm going to say ever, and I'm going to go on record to say you'll never see him in a boring fight.
And it should be a good one there. I can't believe I weigh 100 more pounds than those guys.
So you're basically letting the cat out of the bag. So
oh, man. Are
Green
you
is not
me?
slimming. Look
it
at
is
this
not.
thing.
Are you joking? 125.
Like 225. You just said it on air.
I mean, it adds 10
Please,
pounds.
I need that 25.
So here's my question. This is another flyweight. Are they pushing the fly? Do you think that they're making those the main events because there is so much action in those fights and that they...
Here's what I will say this to you is I actually believe that these fights are better than the pay-per-views most of the time. And the reason I say that is because they have to put good fights on to create new fans. So when they put these fights on right now, these fights are going to be, no matter what, they want good fights. They don't really care about the big names as much, nearly as much.
They want an entertaining fight.
They want entertaining fights because UFC gets it. What they're saying to you is, hey, watch these fights, and once you become this, then you're going to go give us your $65, and you're going to go buy the pay-per-view. I would say that these fights, and I will actually go on record to say this, these fights always are better than the pay-per-views.
It makes sense.
Overall fight card. Now,
if you're flipping through the channels, you come across it, you see it, and you think, oh,
wow, that's a great fight.
Then look at these guys.
I don't even know who half these guys are.
But this is entertaining, and that's what the UFC is looking for. And they'll get another entertaining fight out of the welterweight division. Jake Ellenberger, Rory McDonald. Jake Ellenberger, 29-6. Rory, 14-1. It's going to be a good one there.
That's going to be a great fight. Rory McDonald is probably a guy that, to the common fan, people do not know. Let me tell you something. This kid is a superstar. This kid is a superstar in the making. And this kid is the biggest 170 I've ever seen in my life. This kid is a monster. He's 6'2", 6'3", probably walks about 210. Trains out of George St. Pierre's camp up in Montreal, Canada. He is a complete stud. Jake Ellenberger knows how to win. Jake Ellenberger is a complete stud wrestler that can throw bombs with you. And he's got great jiu-jitsu. Now, I'll tell you something. We're going to see what Rory McDonald can do on this because this is his toughest test to date. And if you're going to step up, Rory McDonald, here's your chance to do it.
This is the time to do it.
Here's a chance. Here's a chance. And this kid is this kid is the real deal. He could be the next George St. Pierre.
There you go, training out of his camp, and would make sense. And, of course, we'll have the predictions coming up next week on the Hit Squad.
Do your homework.
I'm gonna.
And wear a new shirt.
I love this shirt. This might, like I said, this may be the everyday shirt.
I got to talk to Haas about some dress attire, man. It's something that's...
Well, we broke the news on this one last week. It was only an hour old when we reported on the Hit Squad that Bobby Voelker and Robbie Lawler are going to be squaring off. I cannot wait for
fireworks.
This. Yeah. And even we interviewed Bobby last week, and he gave us this is probably going to go deep, and someone's getting knocked out. I loved it.
Here's the thing out of all the years that we've always talked about this. This is what Joe Silva does well. He actually puts on great fights. You got Robbie Lawler, it's got lead in his left hand, he's got lead in his right hand. You got Bobby Voelker, who's probably got one of the, if not the best chin in mixed martial arts, okay, who's just a straight banger. Robbie Voelker might be the only guy that is actually bigger than Robbie Lawler at 170 pounds. Now, Robbie's probably one of the most tremendous athletes in the 170-pound division, and I'm saying that even almost probably on the stature of George St. Pierre. Then you got Bobby Voelker, who is a complete, I mean, his head must be of brick, you know, and you saw him with Patrick Cote. Hell of a fight, and I tell you something, man. This is going to be fireworks coming up, and this is what we just go back to is to say this is what the UFC is doing right now. They're creating new fans. They are putting mixed martial arts on the map to say, okay, man, that was a hell of a fight with Bobby Voelker and Robbie Lawler. Not saying who's going to win the fight, okay, right now, but I will tell you this: that's next week. And I'm not getting the cat out of the bag because you'll start stealing my picks again.
Here's the thing that impresses me about this is that this wasn't even the fight that was supposed to happen.
No.
They're bringing in Bobby Voelker on a short...
Two and a half week notice. 2.5 week notice, and Bobby Voelker said, you don't tell the UFC no.
So even when they're not getting the fight they want, they're still replacing it with almost, arguably, a better fight. I think for the Missouri fan, for sure.
For the Missouri fan, for
Absolutely.
sure, but also just your common fan that's going to be out there. I mean, the person that's going to be watching this fight, you might get a Griffin Bonner out of this. I mean, you got two guys that just love to stand there and bang, so it's going to be exciting.
It is Throwback Week, and we are going to, I didn't touch on that. We will be touching on some throwback fights coming up in a segment. But we round out the final of the Free on Fox, Fox 8, happening in Seattle on the 27th. The women's division, Liz Carmouche taking on Jessica Aldrete. Carmouche really trying to, you know, I think...
She got her fame from Ronda
right,
Rousey.
Exactly.
But let me tell you something. This girl can fight. This girl can fight. I actually was with her in Strikeforce, and this girl's an extreme competitor who's got some serious talent about her. I tell you what, she almost rear naked choke Ronda Rousey.
Just didn't
Boy, the
quite
UFC
set it
would have
in.
not been happy about that. And then all of a sudden you're back to square one. Liz Carmouche, this is going to be an exciting fight. I'm excited for her to be able to get her opportunity, not just to ride on Ronda Rousey's coattails. She can show what she can do as well.
That's a great point, and had she sunk that in and beat Ronda Rousey, would Anderson Silva be sharing the main co-event there on December 28th?
No, Anderson, no.
With Misha Tate and
Chris Weidman might be sharing it. We don't. Anderson Silva's not number one anymore.
I got you. What I did. I still don't understand how he didn't jump him in the power rankings. But
I agree with you on
that was one of those.
You beat some guy, and then all of a sudden he's still ahead of you.
That's some interesting stuff for sure. But we will have those picks coming up. Of course, Jesse 27-11. I am 23-15, needing to make up some ground. We picked the Free on Fox as well as the pay-per-view UFC cards, and we will have those for you next week. But coming up, we have an exciting story. I do love this.
You've been excited about this interview for 2 weeks
now. For 2 weeks. We had to bump him last week because of the breaking news with Bobby Voelker. We got him on, but I'm excited to talk to one Mr. James Krause. That's coming up next on 101sports.com.